Arrested Development and the budget on the same meeting.
Oh, Mr. Call the other day. I called you back. Yeah, I was talking to Joe about something else yesterday, and he brought that up. Like, none of our roads are class 5 or better.
Yeah, I know. I have a couple of
Good morning. I'm Brian Wilson, Burnett County Judge. I call this regular session of our Burnett County Commissioners Court to order. Today is Tuesday, September 9th, 2025. The time is now 9:01. This meeting is being held at the second floor courtroom located at 220 South Pierce, Burnett, Texas. I call agenda item number 2. Would you please join me for the invocation led by Michael Bernard of the Hill Country Fellowship, and then we'll do the pledges of allegiance. Thank you.
Pray with me. God, we are so thankful for this community that we live in, and you have blessed it throughout years, and for us to just be at as a time such as this, and we're thankful for the people of our community, the resources that you've blessed us with, and God, the people here to lead us, and these representatives, the commissioners, and the judge. God, I thank you for them. As public servants, I pray that you would give them everything they need to execute their duties faithfully, God. I pray for pure motivations for them to represent us as the community and to discern, the discernment to know what is best for our community. As they weigh multiple options and positives and negatives, God, I pray you would give them the wisdom to know what the best choices are as they impact real people. God, I pray for favor for the good outcomes of whatever their decisions are and whatever potential negatives that those would not happen, God, just that your favor in everything that's decided today. God, I pray you would give them confidence in their decisions as they're guided by you. God, I pray ultimately for us as a community. God, would you give us peace and unity, give us grace for each other and clarity as we all seek the common good of our community, God. Pray that you will help each of us to put the good of our neighbor above our own. And ultimately, God, I pray that everything that is said and done here today would glorify you. It's in Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. American flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Texas flag. Honor Thank you. Okay, I call agenda item number 3 pursuant to Texas Government Code 551007. The Commissioners Court allows any person to make comments on items appearing on the agenda. However, in this section, the public comment, any person may make a comment on items not on the agenda. Any comments made will not be deliberated on by the Commissioners Court during this public comment agenda item. Public comments are limited to 3 minutes per person. Does anyone want to make a public comment on an item not on the agenda? Okay.
Charlie Parker. Burnett County is in millions and millions of dollars in debt. In the last court meeting, the county judge stated that the debt was $22 million, even though there are records from September 30th of 2024 that show the total county liabilities to be almost $37 million, a $15 million difference. In fiscal year 2024, Burnett County spent $9.6 million more than the county took in. In spite of this debt, in the 6 months since Brian Wilson was installed as county judge, there have been votes to approve almost $1 million to renovate the courthouse annex building, hire attorneys to represent Burnett County with the Encore LCRA power line project, and also add 2 new county court positions at over $200,000 in annual salaries for the 2 positions, while the court refuses to pay to add 4 additional sheriff's deputies to an understaffed sheriff's department. In every vote to spend more money, there is never a dissenting vote from any of the commissioners and almost zero discussion to debate between the 5 members of the court. 5 men vote yes, always unanimous approval time after time. Why? There never seems to be any discussion about why the court should not spend money, never any discussion about paying off debt or reducing the debt burden in Burnett County. Never any public statements about a plan to pay down or pay off the taxpayer debt. Why? Do any of the 5 men on this court even know what the exact amount of the county debt is? How much debt is enough debt? How much debt is too much debt? In the minds of these 5 men, is there a limit to the debt burden that they can easily vote for? It is only common sense that a private citizen cannot continually spend more money than they make, and a private business cannot continually take on debt or monthly expenses that exceed the profitability of the business and expect to stay in business for very long. What is very clear is that not one of the men on this court seem to have even the slightest concern when they spend the taxpayers' money. These 5 men have a fiduciary responsibility to the people of Burnett County. These 5 men are expected to act as responsible adults when making decisions about how to spend the taxpayers' money. How can they have the audacity to vote themselves pay raises year after year when they continually fail at their jobs and prove they are not responsible adults? In closing, in 2024, the books were closed on 2 separate federal COVID relief grants that the Burnett County Commissioners Court voted to accept, totaling over $9 million. Where did that money go? Thank you.
Okay, statement of fact regarding county obligations. The current outstanding certificate of obligations, tax notes, and other outstanding debt is owed by Burnett County is $22,721,248. This amount was noted on the FY25 monthly financial report for the month ended May, and submitted to the Commissioners Court on 6/24/25. Ms. Coe.
Patty Coe, interested person, Burnett County. I think the difference is between short-term debt and long-term debt, but I don't know. A couple of questions. Are all of your local government code 111 notices compliant for budgets, salary, and tax rate? And also, I'm trying to find the motion after Commissioner Dockery and you all voted to add 4 deputies to the budget to see what it turned out. I'm trying to find the motion where y'all voted to defund, and take them out of the budget. Thank you.
Okay, any other public comment for items not on the agenda? Okay, I close public comment for items not on the agenda. I call agenda item number 4. Discuss, consider, and take appropriate action regarding declaring September 11th, 2025 a day of service and remembrance. Most of us, for those of us who were alive, remember the day when President John F. Kennedy was assassinated. We remember the day where we were when the World Trade Center and the Pentagon were attacked, and we lost brave souls in Flight 93. We were hurt and we banded together. Now this year we ask that our community binds ourselves to the American spirit and remembrance and service. The following resolution is being considered. Burnett County 9/11 Remembrance Proclamation, whereas on September 11th, 2001, our nation endured the worst terrorist attack on U.S. soil, met with incredible courage, heroism, and resilience by the American people. And whereas in response, Americans united in a spirit of patriotism, compassion, and service, performing countless acts of kindness. And whereas families of 9/11 victims and community organizations began making the anniversary with charitable service to honor those lost and the heroic efforts of those first responders and volunteers. And whereas in 2009, Serve America Act established September 11th as a National Day of Service and Remembrance, encouraging Americans to honor victims and heroes through acts of service. And whereas service on this day is in a meaningful way to remember the fallen and recognize those who served and continue to serve, military personnel, veterans, first responders, and their families. And whereas the National Day of Service and Remembrance is observed nationwide through events organized by nonprofits, schools, businesses, faith groups, and local communities. And whereas the citizens of Burnett County are encouraged to participate in service projects that honor the victims and heroes of 9/11 by addressing local community needs. Now therefore, we, the Burnett County Commissioners Court, do hereby proclaim September 11th as a day of service and remembrance in Burnett County, and call upon all citizens to honor the lives lost through acts of community service and participation in remembrance events on this day and throughout the year. Is there any public comment on this item? Okay.
I move for adoption.
Second.
I close public comment. It's been moved by Dockery, seconded by Byerly, that we adopt this resolution. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. Motion passes. Okay, I call agenda item number 5, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action regarding the burn ban of unincorporated areas of Burnett County. Mr. Marcio.
Derek Marcio, Burnett County Emergency Management. So we've gone up about 20 points since last week, went from a 440 to a 460 on the average Keach-Byram Drought Index. On top of that, no
Speak
rain.
into the microphone. a little
Okay,
bit more.
so we don't have any rain.
Just pull it down to just a little bit toward you.
I have to be short, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
No, so over the next 7 days, we don't have any rain forecast, and we're not looking at the same thing that we've seen over the last 2 weeks. However, temperatures are coming down, be more in the mid to upper 80s to low 90s for temperatures during a day. However, for humidities daily, excuse me, still in kind of a favorable range even during the day. Lowest humidities might be around 30 to 40%, with those maximum overnight humidities, the ones we see here in the early morning hours, being close to that 100% range. So beyond that, along with fuel moistures and all the other indicators, really over the next few days, we're still going to be looking pretty good. Fuel moistures, because of these overnight humidities, are going to stay high. The only thing that I would do, especially looking around, things are still pretty green, at least from the rain that we got. We could probably hold off another week and see where we are and see where the forecast is going as we go on to the next 7 days from next Tuesday. But if we were to vote it in today, we wouldn't, once again, it's kind of one of those, we wouldn't be wrong. But right now, like I say, there's fuel moisture, especially in those larger fuels or trees and brush, is still looking really good. So any fires that we do have will have kind of a low resistance control.
So, Mr. Marcio, a few months ago, when we were under a burn ban, we looked at a order that from Llano County where there was some exceptions where the Commissioners Court could place a burn ban, and then if it got a rain or so. Can you tell what were they doing in Llano that apparently for their county attorney had passed the muster, but it allowed some flexibility for the Commissioners Court?
So what that did is it designated the judge with the ability to put a hold on the burn ban for about 72 hours. So we could have the burn ban in place, and then if we got rain, you could lift it for 72 hours, and then it would go back in place, up to 72 hours, and it can go back into place after that.
Okay. So do you have one of those orders ready if we had the opportunity?
I've got to double check to make sure that language is in there, because I know a lot has happened since that conversation.
Sure, let's make sure we
yes.
get those orders to the county attorney. So so basically, if it continues to be dry, like the next week or so, we place the burn ban, then we get a significant rain across the whole county, then the county judge could lift the burn ban to allow during immediately after that rain to pull it for up to 72 hours, and then it goes back into the burn ban adopted by the Commissioners Court. Is that the way it works?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you please make sure that we have that order and then get it to the county attorney and general counsel to have it reviewed, so that if we next week or the week after need to put the burn ban in place, we'll be ready for a burn ban with a little bit of flexibility?
Yes, sir.
All right. Are there any other questions?
Thank you, Derek.
Thank you, Mr. Marcio. Okay, any public comment on this issue? All right, close public comment. I call agenda item number 6 to discuss and consider status updates for the FY26 proposed budget. I know this was under my name, but I think Commissioner Byerly asked this to be put on there. Do you want me to do just a broad summary real
Please.
quick? And then, so the current adopted proposed budget that we did a couple weeks ago had a few editing errors. Some were caused by modifications that the Commissioners Court made on the fly after the original version was introduced. But it was mostly correct. There were several things. We did get some notifications that we're not going to get some grants, so there's a lot of edits where we've now gone in and removed the grants that were in the original proposed budget. There was some meetings that we had with the county judge staff, the Commissioner Byerly, and the hotel occupancy budget. We met with the sheriff, the auditor, Commissioner Byerly, and I met to discuss the SO corrections. The sheriff also provided some additions and reclassifications that were requested. The corrections are being entered into the final proposed budget, so it'll be consistent with the adopted tax rate. Additional items were identified as posting or description errors, so sometimes it just had the wrong title or whatever. The money was correct, so we've gone in trying to fix all those. Basically, there were 8 items made to edits made to revenue line items and 65 edits made to expense line items. I'm still continuing to review every single line in the budget until we get ready to post it, I guess, tomorrow. Tomorrow? Yeah, right. Today's Tuesday, tomorrow. I'm sorry, it's going to be, yeah, it's because Monday. The holiday messed me up on that first holiday. So yes, we'll post tomorrow. Okay, any public comment on this issue?
Patty Cope again. So you're making 8 revisions to revenue and 65 revisions to expenses. You're going to post it, and then when does it get approved?
It'll be subject to the hearing next Tuesday.
Okay.
I don't know if it'll be approved. I don't make that assumption, so.
So when will the public be able to see these revisions, the revenue and expense revisions?
When it's posted.
So next week, the day before the hearing or something like that? Tomorrow?
Well,
I'm
as
sorry.
far as I know, tomorrow, but we're still working on it. If I have to post it a couple days later, I will, but I want to make sure it's accurate. But plan is to try to finish this up tomorrow when we go to post.
So when you're posting it, you're going to be posting another draft version that has not been voted on by the members of the court?
It's consistent with what they asked me to do, is to make just corrections. That's all they
Okay.
asked me to
Are
do.
the deputies included in that?
That's not a correction. That's
Okay.
an addition.
It was an addition that was done at AgriLife, so it's not included in
You
this?
you can just go ahead and make your public comment. I'm going to stop
Okay,
here. So,
so, thank you.
all right. All right, any other public comment? Okay. Close public comment. Okay, department wants to make a statement?
Good morning, Alan Trevino, Burnett County Chief Deputy. What I provided were, the very first form that I provided was the actual report that we sent in to the committee, so that all the commissioners have a copy of what we submitted in the discussion. Each of those, and this has been 2 weeks that when we last visited those, but I wanted y'all to have a copy of it so that you can compare to what the changes will be. Secondly, the second form, which is the single page, that is a non-local comparison for the last 8 years of out-of-county jail money. I would like to draw your attention to column 1, inmate housing, non-local. It's by year. If you look at FY '26, it's $6,797,127 proposed for FY '26. The previous years, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, were roughly all around 5.5 million, 5.4, 5.8. That's a 27% increase from last year on inmate housing non-local. I don't know a company around that would not love to see a 27% increase in revenue. And I would like to know where that number came from. The sheriff's office wasn't visited about it. The administrator from the jail wasn't visited about it. You have a question, sir?
About what? I don't know.
The column 1, which is inmate housing non-local, the proposed for FY '26 is 6.7 million. Previous years have been 5.3, so you're talking about close to $1.5 million increase in 1 year, which is 27%.
You're talking about projected, okay, got it.
So I'm asking where that 1.5 million came from when it's been extremely consistent for 8 years at 5.3, 5.4, 5.5. Why a 27% increase? And if you go out to the green column, I think it kind of lightened up to almost yellow in y'all's, but the total housing down to 7.1 million also is a 27% increase. So we've, over the course of the last 2 years, discussed how inmate housing income has increased, and if you look at the red on your form, that's in 2022, the jail operated only 1 year, the COVID year, in the black on excess or deficit. Since that time, we turned it around. In 2022, I started August of 29th of 2022. And the budget for FY '23 had already been finalized by the time I started. We changed the numbers, we looked at the jail, and we made that, going from a significant negative the year before, 1.1 million, to a $40,000 increase. 23, I'm sorry, FY '24, we went to 1.4 million, and that was the discussion that we had last year at the same time on the funds that was going to be split 50-50 between the sheriff's office and the jail. And then this year, we're projected at 3.1 million. I'm believing it's going to actually be higher, maybe 3.2. But those are the increases that I spoke about 3 weeks ago. And by increasing 1.5 million into the revenue side of the ledger, that's off of, and I'm going to use a term, that's off the backs of the jailers. The same crew that keep building holiday time, that they can't take time off, that we've been fighting for the last 3 years that I've been here to try to get that resolved. And that's, by increasing it by 1.5 million, now sets the bar higher for the jail. Not a bad thing, because we're proving that we can get there. However, what it does to the revenue side of the ledger is it puts $1.5 million more into the revenue side, which is a good way to get 3% tax cut. And then, had you not done a 3% tax cut, we would be able to fund the 4 deputies. And we talked about increasing supervision. We requested 4 new, we requested reclassifications of deputies to 4 corporals. From the report that was provided by the court, I believe it was 2 weeks ago, there were initially in 2020, 20 total deputies in Burnett County that were road deputies. Now we have 31. We increased 50%, from 20 to 30, over 50%. And we've got 1 supervisor out of that. What we're trying to do is, at a very minimal cost, get 4 mid-level supervision personnel to be able to function when one of the sergeants, we only have 4 sergeants, 1 on each shift. We have 4 shifts. When one of the sergeants is out, somebody has to carry the burden. And we're asking those corporals to carry the burden.
On this column 1,
Yes, sir.
is that budgeted?
Those were taken strictly from each year's budget from 2018 through.
So they're not real numbers, they're not actual numbers.
They're numbers that came directly off the budget. That's correct. And you'll find that they're fairly close to what the actual numbers were.
Okay.
The last column I'll speak about on this form is the actual transfer in from general funds. That's the 3rd one from the right. Since 2020, it is, the county has not had to put in $2.148 million of that transfer in. On all the budgets, we have a transfer in from general funds. In the last 5 years, we've saved the county $2.1 million, almost $2,148,568.80 in 5 years. The last form I put in front of you is the budget that was presented by, the proposed budget that was presented with the corrections and additions that the Sheriff's Office presented 2 weeks ago to the group that met. And on that, I only identified, on each line, it shows which officer, which employee is accounted for in that. And I numbered them, they would not number on the system I had, but I numbered them at the bottom. So page 2 shows the deputies right after the second section. It also shows right above that the lieutenant position we requested for in CID, where the position was listed as a sergeant, but the funds were listed at the lieutenant position, the lieutenant pay that I requested. In our discussion, it was thought that that was my captain for CID. Our captains are considered command staff, and they're in the command staff section. So while that was I don't know, was a mistake, it is, the number's correct, the title is wrong, and so just changing it to lieutenant makes that reclassification, and it's a $0 difference. If you add all the deputies, starting with 5058, Budget Code 5058, it includes the 4 new deputies. All your columns to the right should equal, should match. It includes, looks like we have currently 1 opening in the patrol section, and we've got 1 on loan to the courts division. Oh, yep, that's correct. No, 2 openings, I'm sorry. There's on line 111.4, there's an opening, and on 111.10, there's an opening, and those are listed in those locations because those are the officers' pay that we lost. And so if we bring in new officers, they'll come in at a lower rate, but they were included at the rate that the officers, the 2 most recent departures from the sheriff's office are listed in there. You can flip down. Telecommunicators was pretty clean. We do have 2 openings, which I have included on there. At 106.2, we bring them in at a step 2 because they are new employees, and when they get their certification to be a dispatcher, we bump them up to a 3. So they come in at a 2, and that's the rate that I added on there. The next big area of change would be on page 4, under capital outlay. Different from the first form I handed you that showed that we were considering taking out the 4 rifles. We've included those because we're asking for the 4 deputies. And that equipment is covered in there. The vehicles, it goes, we would have 10 vehicles. We're getting 6 from the county budget and 4 from the Senate Bill 22 funds. And the Senate Bill 22 funds for the vehicles is only for the vehicles alone, not for the upfitting. The upfittings is included in that section, the capital outlay section. Page 5 is pretty much a bust, except for the last part is the crisis diversion match. That was Deputy Denton. As you can see on the far right, all that's in there is the longevity. That was a position we've held all year. That wasn't on the budget. And her position ended at the end of last month. She has since resigned. She resigned at the end of last month. So that would be the CIT position that we requested that was put in the budget under CIT and showed 5 deputies for that position. And it was, I'm assuming, a simple mistake of just putting CIT in front of it rather than pulling out the other 4. Without that, that's a granted position, which we do not have for FY26. The next section will be on page 7. It's for the victim liaison. That is for crime victim services.
Which line are we on? I'm sorry.
We're on page 7. We're at the very top. BSCO
Okay, got it.
victim liaison. That is just demonstrating that we have had her this year. We had her all last year, but wasn't on the budget last year. Then we move at the bottom of page 7 to Senate Bill 22. And all I did with those is move all of the current year FY25 payroll and benefits to exactly the same as this year. into next year, under capital outlay, 4 vehicles and 17 tasers. And that rounds us out to $350,000 to the penny for Senate Bill 22. Courts is on page 9. And the same thing with the bailiff, corporal. That is not a new position, it's a reclassification. And that position is filled currently. And then at the on the very last page, it comes up with the total of what the total expense is for the SO budget. That's without the jail. Any questions?
When the budget post, I guess, review it and we'll look for changes.
Thank you for letting me do that.
Alex, did he explain where that number came from?
Oh.
I don't think the auditor.
The question was, did you explain where the number came from that increased by 1.5 million?
I don't have that with me right now, but we can probably take it up at the next meeting. So,
He said he's going to take it up at the next meeting.
I don't have that here with me today, so it's a budgeted line item. I'm sure it's based on extrapolation, but I don't have it with me today.
And just one last question. Were any of the commissioners asked anything about the removing the patrol officers out of the budget? It was proposed and voted on to put them in to see what it did to the budget, but we never saw a budget that had it.
It was deliberated in open court, so. Okay. All right, I call agenda item number 7, public hearing on the County Clerk Records Archive Plan, scheduled to be at 9:30. The time is now 9:37.
Good morning, Vicenta Stafford, Burnett County Clerk. This is something that we have to do every year. You may have it in your binders. If not, I'll read it to you. The goal of the Burnett County Clerk Archive Plan, which was established in 2018, was to archive and digitize all records filed in the county clerk's office. The continuation of this plan will continue into FY26. The completed portion of the project included 2,800 pages of maps and plats, 515 volumes of records consisting of 317,245 pages, and 4,800 pages of probated wills. The digitization portion of this project has been completed, and all original documents are back in Burnett County. In addition to this project, the county clerk's office was quoted a price of $34,042.05 for a quick link product that will make these documents accessible. The county clerk, with assistance from the chief deputy records position, planned to do this project in-house to eliminate the large expense. A portion of the chief deputy records position will be funded through the county clerk records archive fund. This project will allow for expedited record searching, provide public information to citizens, and preserve original records by reducing daily usage. The Burnett County Clerk is progressive in the preservation of current and historical records, utilizing the County Clerk Records Archive Fund to preserve and enhance the integrity of the existing system for recording and preserving public documents. So this fund is funded through every single document that is recorded in the county clerk's office. $10 of that fund, of every recording, goes into this fund and can be used for these purposes only. And last year, y'all approved for me to hire, or to pay a portion of my second chief deputy out of this fund. It's a little less than $10,000. And so we're still working on the project of making these documents accessible. So that is my plan for, and reason for continuing to collect the $10 into this FY year. Anyone else can ask any questions. I'll be here.
Any questions?
I just, you say that the $34,000 quote from QuickLink, you all are going to try to take that on yourself? Is that what I'm understanding?
Yes, sir. The company was going to charge us $34,000 to put the documents that they had into a QuickLink server for us to utilize, and then we would have to pay a yearly keep fee for them to keep it going. So we are working on getting the documents into an Excel sheet within our office. So we're doing the work that the company was going to do, we're just doing it in-house. And a portion of that chief deputy position is paid for her to work on that project. So we're doing that in lieu of spending the $34,000 to the company. We're just doing it within. And I have met with the IT director, and they're going to give us a place to store this so that we don't have to put it on hard drives and store it in a bunch of different places. So it's just going to be where we can access the documents by searching a name or a case number versus us having to go dig through flash drives or us still having to use the books. It's just going to make it where we can find the documents as soon as someone requests them in real time.
So part of your staffing time is indexing the documents as you're loading them in. You're going to put keywords or indexes on them to cause
Correct, yes. They'll be fully searchable on our end, and then this person will, with my assistance and her, we're going to create the software that makes sense for how we would search for it, whether that's a name and date of birth search or a case number search. It'll just allow us to search easily in our office, so then we can send out the documents. These documents are requested probably 20 to 30 times a day from our office, so we spend a lot of time searching through flash drives, so this would eliminate, this project that we are doing would eliminate us having to spend that much time looking for them.
Okay, so thank you. All right, this is a public hearing. Are there any public comments or any input on this issue? Okay. All right. Okay. So we'll be taking action on this after we close the public hearing. So just make sure there's no other public comment, that we won't open public comment again. All right. And I close public comment, and I now close the public hearing. It's 9:42. All right, call agenda item number 8, discuss and take action on the county clerk record archive plan. You just laid it out. This is the plan that to approve and then use in-house staff and IT resources to index and maintain the access to the records for the clerk.
I'll move for approval of the plan as presented.
Second.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and call Luther. So it's been moved and seconded that we, by Commissioner Byerly and seconded by Luther, that we go ahead and approve the archives plan submitted by the clerk. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say no. The motion passes. Okay, I call agenda item number 9, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action regarding the Burnett County to move to a new domain to align with the Technology Department strategy and government safety policies. So this is a discussion about moving to a .gov domain for our website, which has been recommended by cybersecurity, I forgot, CISA or whatever the national standards for many years. So the question is, right now, what's being offered is burnettcotx.gov. We don't have to take action if you want to explore other options to see what else, but you have to suggest what other options you might be interested in.
Is this the TAC? CIRA?
I don't know if they're going through CIRA. I suggested that we work with Sierra on that. I did not get a response whether both Sierra and provides both the access to Outlook as well as the domain server, but I don't know if this has been worked through that. So maybe we should just go ahead and set this aside for today, and let's look at, because the two things I think would greatly enhance our cybersecurity standing is moving to Outlook, and then having a .gov or .gov standard. That's what I've been looking to pursue since I've been here. I think the safety protocols for that is much higher.
Yeah, I think there was actually, at conference, there was a possibility of some cybersecurity grants as well, but you had to be part of the .gov or something of that sort. We couldn't do it as a .org organization. It would.
Right. Good. All right. So, okay with passing on this for now until we research it a little bit more and see what some of the other options are on the name. And if you have any ideas, and even the public, for a better name, let us know. So, I know I think Wilco went to like Wilco.gov or things like that. So, don't know if that'll. I mean, we can't use Wilco, obviously. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pass on this one. I call agenda item number 10, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action on a request for a preliminary plat approval for Oatmeal Preserve, a private subdivision consisting of 40 lots on 150.26 acres located in the 4000 block of County Road 336. Mr. Darling.
That's close.
Okay.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners. Herb Darling, Burnett County Development Services. We've got a request for preliminary plat approval for the preserve at Oatmeal. It's a private subdivision located off County Road 336, I believe in the 4,000.
4,000 block.
Yeah, in the 4,000 block. They have completed our water availability study. It has been reviewed by the Groundwater District and Interra, and they have met the conditions that they have presented with their groundwater study. Any questions, gentlemen?
Do they plan on doing a community water system or individual wells?
Individual wells.
So both of these different pieces of property are 40 lots in total?
It's 40 lots total, Judge. It actually connects right here.
Right. All right. And you have anything to say about it?
They met all their, I don't know how they found water, but they did.
Those 3-acre tracts are going to get really small when it starts trying to find water.
What are our options?
Either approve or deny. As of today, there's nothing legally to deny.
They've checked all the boxes.
Yeah.
They've checked all the boxes for preliminary approval. Yes, sir.
Is there any public comment on this issue? Go ahead. Come on up and state your name for the record, please.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Danny Harlow. I'm a resident of Greystone Ranch. And this is my third time to come to the Commissioner's Court with the condition of our roads. Adding something like this on 336 with all of there's going to be a lot of site work, this new subdivision, a lot of large trucks coming in. This is going to take a very long time to develop this subdivision. What are we going to do with 336? It's so narrow right now that these big trucks coming through, I've had to pull off on the side of the road to let them go by because they're they're either speeding or they're coming down the middle. Of course, that's a traffic issue, but as far as the road itself, are there any plans or what would be the procedure to get the roads in a condition to allow this kind of traffic? It's dangerous.
I hear you.
It's been dangerous for many, many years, but adding this to it with the width of the road and the conditions, this is just going to be very difficult to live with if there's not something done on the roads.
Well, one is-
Commissioner Collier did a very good job on the washout on 334, which I thank you for that.
Those will be, a lot of the roads, as far as your road issues, with our right-of-way widths. And we've got those cattle guards
That's a problem.
that we have to go through. But the rest of them should be, what are we at, 24 feet? I think the majority of it.
So
It's gonna take some wear and tear with this subdivision, there's no doubt, but.
well, wear and tear, but also these big trucks coming through that are very wide. In other words, in your opinion, the road meets the standards required for something like this? As far as width?
They should. I mean, we've got it necked down in places where the right-of-way is smaller. You know, we've got the cattle guards. There's only so much we can do in those areas. But the rest is, you know, they're at 24 feet, so that gives you 12 feet each side. And a big truck's gonna take up a bunch of that, yes.
Well, thank you.
And continual maintenance.
Pardon?
And we'll just continue with the maintenance and keeping them up.
But there's no plans of upgrading them or widening them?
Making them wider, not in the near future. We'll have to see as it develops. I'm sure eventually we're gonna have to make them wider, but we'll see what the future holds. How many more developments get put in.
Thank you.
Thank
So
you.
Well, hopefully they stop doing 3-acre tracts.
Just too small.
When this comes, this is, first one in wins.
I know.
You know, they're gonna have to be bigger as the water studies keep coming in. If another person buys and develops beside this.
All right. Any
I'll
other
move for-
public comment? Okay.
I'll move for approval.
All right, close public comment. So Commissioner Collier moves for approval. Any second?
I'll second.
Okay, Commissioner Barley seconds. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion passes. Okay, I call agenda item number 11, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action regarding a request for the final plat approval on Moonlight Bend, Phase 1, a private subdivision consisting of 66 lots on 330.9 acres located at 536 Flying X Road. Mr. Darling?
Judge, Commissioners, this come to us back in March or April for preliminary review. This is Phase 1. They are served by a municipal utility district, and infrastructure is being put in as we speak. But this is the first phase of that.
Just water or water and septic?
Water and sewer.
So this is a final plat approval for the first phase of a project.
Yes, sir.
Is that correct? All right.
What's their source of water?
It'll be Lake Travis, surface water, and their drilling wells.
Okay. Is there any public comment on this issue? I close public comment. Do I have a motion?
I'd move for preliminary, or final approval.
Okay. Commissioner Dockery has moved for approval. Any second?
Second.
Okay. Commissioner Collier seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion passes. Okay, I call agenda item number 12, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action regarding invoices without POs or contracts. Is there any public comment on this agenda item? Okay. Close public comment. So this is an issue of timing. When sometimes we have vendors, I understand, I mean, Commissioner Byerly, you want to explain it, or?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I text in my order for some shirts and jeans to Blair's, and when I went to pick them up, I got a PO, but they had made the receipt for the day I texted in the order, and so it didn't match. But
All right. I
Small
move
town
for
stuff.
approval.
thank you. Second.
Okay. All right, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the payment of this item. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those approved say no, opposed say no. Motion passes. Okay. I call agenda item number 13, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action regarding budget interline item transfers. All of the ones provided in the packet except the next to the last one submitted by the IT director are ready for approval. The one submitted by the IT director is requesting to move $27,870.11 for a service after the PO cutoff, and it's unlikely, according to the auditor, that she didn't want to issue the PO so late, but also it's a service, so it depended on people doing work as opposed to just buying a good. So it can be submitted next year if the funds are available, because it was basically outsourcing IT work. So I just ask you to consider approve all but that one for $27,870.11. Any public comment? Okay.
I'd move for approval of the line item transfers with the exception of the IT line item transfer.
Okay. It's been moved by Dockery. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Commissioner Luther. All right. Any further discussion? All those in favor of adopting all the line item transfers except for the one from IT for $27,870.11 say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion passes with that exception. Okay. Call agenda item number 14, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action for the authorization of payments of claims previously approved by the county auditor. There's both the September 2nd and the September 9th invoices are on there. So hope you had time to look at those. But if there's any further questions, is there any public comment? Okay, seeing no public comment, close public comment. Do I have a motion to approve these expenses to be paid?
Move for approval.
Okay.
Second.
Commissioner Byerly moved and Commissioner Luther seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. Motion passes. Call agenda item number 15, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action on authorizing Spectrum to install a 1G dedicated fiber circuit with 13 static IP addresses to 127 East Jackson Street using the DIR procurement process. No, we're getting closer to being able to move in, certainly the downstairs. We haven't finished considering all the expenses and authorizations for the upstairs. We're finalizing plans with the city, and we'll, as I said, I think last week, I'll bring bring you a final proposed authorization at that time. But for right now, no matter if we only do the downstairs as was originally planned, we will need a dedicated circuit into that building. This is not charging for now, it's just setting up, allowing them to set the circuit up, and then won't pay until we actually begin services inside that building, or using the service inside the building.
I move for approval.
Okay,
Second?
okay, Dockery has moved and Commissioner Collier has seconded. Is there any public comment? Okay, close public comment. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. Motion passes. I call agenda item number 16, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action regarding amending the Cadence Bank lease agreement for the East Texas MAC buyback program for 2026 MAC GR64F dump trucks that was adopted in Commissioners Court on September 2nd, 2025, to include authorizing and approving the execution of the lease agreement and conducting a roll call vote. We approved this last week, but the bank had a requirement that we have a roll call vote for the approval of the finance agreement. It's just one of their conditions, so here we go. Is there any public comment on this issue? All right, close public comment. So we will now take a roll call vote for the approval of the East Texas MAC buyback program and the
Don't
course.
we need a new motion in a second to start
Oh,
the
yes.
process? I'll make the motion for approval.
Okay.
Second?
All right, it's been moved by Commissioner Dockery and seconded by Commissioner Collier that we do a roll call vote to support the East Texas MAC buyback program. Commissioner Luther.
Aye.
Commissioner Byerly.
Aye.
I vote aye. Commissioner Collier.
Aye.
Commissioner Dockery.
Aye.
Okay, the motion passes on a roll call vote of 5 in favor and none against. I call agenda item number 17, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action regarding contracts, agreements, or grants to be approved and or ratified. The agreement between Burnett County and Kenneth Carnes as a vet ride independent contractor. Ratifying the peace officer training reimbursement agreement for Jermaine Anderson. Ratifying the peace officer training reimbursement agreement for Leonardo Davila. Ratifying the Capital Area Council of Governments interlocal agreement for FY 24-25 solid waste grant 25-12-06. Is there any public comment on this agenda item? Okay, close public comment. So these items are recommended as contracts and ratification. The contract for the vet ride driver we do regularly, but the ratification for the 2 deputy trainees who started their training as commissioned, needs Commissioners Court ratification, and the CAPCOG grant to retroactively cover our emergency purchases for the debris site management. So just to back up, so we had a holiday before the 2nd, and the sheriff contacted me, and Chief's back there in case I get this wrong, but we had a training academy, I think starting on the 3rd or the 4th, and we weren't able to get these contracts, which normally come to the Commissioners Court before the candidates, the recruits or trainee candidates, whatever you call them, go into the session. So because of our new state law posting requirements, we were not able to get that signed and in the book in advance. So when I spoke with the sheriff, what I said is we'll get them to the training academy. The obligation that's ensuing for reimbursement or the cost is not really significant. And so if they go ahead and start the class, and then we would ratify the trainee agreements, which would require that they complete the training at our cost and our expense, and then they would reimburse the cost if they decided to leave within a certain amount of time. And that's all spelled out in the agreements in your packet. So those 2 are ratifications. The sheriff with my agreement, not obligation, but saying subject to ratification, go ahead and start the classes. And they did, correct? Both of them. Thank you, Chief. And then the second one is about a grant that we found out that CAPCOG had a lot of money in the end of their year grant, and they wanted to give us a grant to reimburse if y'all remember, after the flood, we had to immediately hire, under emergency purchase, a contractor to manage our debris site. And so we spent somewhere between $20,000 and $30,000 on that. And CapCog wanted to give us, because they had year-end money left over, they wanted to give it to Burnett County to reimburse us for those costs. So I went ahead and did, again, it was no obligation on Burnett County's part, because we've already spent the money. They want to give us $30,000, so under subject to ratification by this Commissioners Court, I went ahead and signed that agreement, and if we don't ratify it, then we don't get the $30,000, but there was no obligation that we would have to do something other than accept the money. So, is there any public comment? Okay, I close public comment. Do I have a motion?
Move to approve A through D.
Okay. All right, and so the move to approve by Byerly, seconded by Luther. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. Motion passes. I call agenda item number 18, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action concerning calling for bids and bid openings, requests for proposals, qualifications, and related openings. So this would be our third attempt to try to do the jail bid. It's fallen through because there's a series of skylights that are in the jail. What I've requested Captain Kimbler, and he's agreed to let us pass on this issue unless the chief has any more information, and let us. So right now there happens to be an engineer working in the jail, and I thought if we could, because the skylights have been the big issue about the one that's there is no longer commercially available. It's a little, it might have to be a rebuild or some modification of the holes where the skylights go, or finding a source. So what I ask, since this would be our third rebid, is before we rebid, is please ask the architect, I guess it's an engineering architecture firm, to see if they could look at it, if they would give us a proposal to engineer the roof specs, so that we would know exactly, at that point, that we would know a known skylight or any construction that would need to be done to do that. So it would be in a kind of a double-step process, but with going out to bid with the general specs that we have now, I think would just bring us right back here again. So they're willing to check with the architect on site, see if they would add to their existing contract. It's a professional services contract, so it doesn't have to be bid, and then we can get the specifications for the roof to go out with cleaner specifications. Now so if we can pass on this today, then we can come back and look at it.
Are you talking about removing the skylights completely?
No, I don't think it's a good idea skylights in correctional places are really important, but I think if they can't find a specific manufacturer that fits that orifice, then somebody needs to design a solution, possible construction solution to
fit a standard design.
to fit what's available today. Does that make sense? But right now, we do not have engineered specifications, and we've already gone out twice without engineered specifications. So we'll pass on this unless there's any objection. Okay. All right, I'll get with Captain Kimbler and continue that discussion, and maybe come back with an engineering proposal in the next week or two. Okay, I call agenda item number 19, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action regarding accepting the following reports: Burnett County Emergency Service District 4 financial statements, and Bertram Volunteer Fire Department financial statements. This does require that we accept these reports under the statute. Is there any public comment? Okay. Close public comment. Do I have a motion to accept these reports from ESD number 4 and Bertram Volunteer Fire Department?
Move to accept.
Second.
All right. Motion by Commissioner Byerly, second by Commissioner Dockery. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. Motion passes. Call agenda item number 20, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action regarding the FY25 local public agency acquisition report for TxDOT. So If you remember, a few weeks ago, we accepted, or we submitted our county road inventory. This is a companion report to that issue, where they want to know if we acquired any right-of-way that would affect the county road planning process. And we have, I think the auditor has contacted, so what we have, the auditor reached out to each one of you individually and figured out that we do not have any acquired property this year. I thought that one that you did up in Briggs might have been, but they said they looked at it and it was not. So,
Now, this is
we're going to submit it with
right away
zero.
where the state participation was not involved and the project was eligible for federal participation. So,
All right.
we did not acquire any of this land.
All right, so do I have a motion, any public comment? I have a motion to approve the report as zero acquisitions related to this program.
So moved.
Okay, Dockery moved, any second?
Second?
Collier seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor of submitting the report with zero acquisitions, say aye. Aye. All those opposed, say no. Motion passes. Call agenda item number 21, acknowledge of receipt, LCRA Step Forward Day, Marble Falls Area EMS, Burnett County update, appointment of Burnett County Auditor, submitted by the district judges, appointment of Burnett County Auditor as purchasing agent, submitted by the district judges, setting compensation for Burnett County Auditor and staff, submitted by the district judges, setting compensation for the 33rd and 424th Judicial District Court reporters, submitted by the district judges. PEC notice of utility connections, TEC notice of public meeting and proposed renewal with amendment of general permit number TXG 13000, authorizing the discharge of wastewater. A letter from the Senate of the State of Texas regarding the Alamo Society letter, TCEQ notice of application and preliminary decision for water quality land application permit for municipal wastewater, Burnett County Workforce Development Update, FY 24 to 25, a letter from the Supreme Court of Texas, implementation of judicial pay legislation, and the Texas Department of Transportation County Road Inventory Report certification that we submitted a couple weeks ago. Any questions? Okay. All right, I call agenda item number 22, discuss, consider, take appropriate action regarding the Commissioners Court modifying the regularly scheduled meetings. And I don't know if anything needs to be done. We did, at the last meeting, we did set the tax rate meeting. Did you have a public comment, Ms. Coe?
I do. I am looking at the FY 25-26 budget and tax calendar, and I don't see any September dates on it. I have all of the local newspapers and all of the notices that have been published, some of which are defective, clearly defective. And so I'm going to just object on the notices, the defective notices for tax code 26, local government code 81, 111, and 152. Lack of notice, lack of proper disclosure, and defective notices. Thank you.
Okay, any other comments? All right. Any other motions? Okay. I call agenda item number 23, calendar review. I think everybody's turned in to the company. I think we have road counting going on in September. Everybody's turned in their roads and locations. And then also 9/11 ceremony at Johnson Park in Marble Falls on Thursday. Any other calendar review issues?
Hazardous waste collection event is October the
25th.
25th.
Thank you. All right.
We will need help from all of the precincts.
And then that one, we take all paint.
Yes. Take oil-based paint as well as latex.
All right, anything else? All right, close that agenda item. I call agenda item number 24, adjournment.
Move for approval.
Second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. We are adjourned. Thank you. Thank you. Madeline, you got some things for us to sign? Anything?
Proclamation.
Judge,
Yes.
are you going to have a copy of this?
Okay. I'm sorry, what?
Are you going to have a copy of this proclamation for the
Yeah.
service Thursday? And I will not make one then. Did Commissioner Luther leave?
I hope not.
I think it's right.
Is this the,
I can't find payroll.
didn't we sign payroll last week?
Oh, did
You want to see if there's anything? Yeah, I think we signed it last week.